Hello guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Adelia Agustin from TBI A with the NIM number 1917404031. Here, I will like to have a material of seminars about the way to be a good English teacher in the future. So, I think it's so important for all of us as a English education department student in EA and Purwokerto. So I hope that you like this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Adelia Agustin and I'm an English teacher in Putra Bangsa High School. Thanks for your attendance in the spectacular event, and in this occasion I would like to explain to all of you the best way to be a good English teacher in the future. Let's get started. Okay, before this, I will tell to all of you about data from EFebi and 2018 that states that Indonesia is ranked in 51 in terms of English proficiency. It's too low, right? So, what should we do as an English teacher to prepare ourselves to be a good English teacher in the future? To upgrade the rank of the English proficiency of Indonesian capability in English skills. So let's stay tuned. Okay, before I'll start to explain the whole material that we will discuss today, I will tell to all of you first, because I will divide the main parts to three parts. The first one is knowing the materials. It will be divided with two parts too. The first one is develop your English language skill. Make sure that you have a firm grasp of spelling, punctuation, and grammar. You don't want to find yourself teaching your student mistaken or wrong information, right? Use a reference book and the internet as search for grammar, punctuation rule, and many more. And the main part is don't be afraid to look up your topic that you're not sure about. The second one is know the material well. If you will be discussing a short story, reread it several times to make sure that you pick up the smaller details that you might not have noticed at the first time. Come up with an interpretation of the word, but reminds that yourself is not only possible interpretation. Then make sure you will be able to answer common questions students may have not about the work. The last part is give homework assignment that helps students understand the material. Ask students to write a short response to reading assignment, including an interpretation of question about the reading. This assignment should challenge students to think critically and consider important questions or make connection between class topics. The second one is leading the discussion. In this part, I will divide it with three parts too. The first one is ask interpretative question. You should guide your student to interpret the text rather than to discuss factual aspects. Ask how and why rather than what or yes no question. For example, what did Ender do to you? It's very simple question, right? While why did Ender do it? It's much more challenging and complex. And how do you know? How do you know? Demand close reading and attention to the text. The second one is bring in outside material. While the main focus of the discussion should be based in the text itself, it can be helpful to bring in outside material like biographical information about the author, the backstory of the text, or famous or controversial interpretation. Do some research and bring in the most relevant or interesting information you find. And the last part is encourage your students to respond to each other. In a discussion, students shouldn't talk to you, rather they should direct their question and comment to each other, and you should step in only to keep the discussion moving forward. They will learn best if they work together to build their own ideas and interpretation. They won't get much out of a conversation if you simply tell them what you think. Remember, you'll help them to learn, and the large part of this is teaching them to how best way to learn. The last one is about developing lesson plan. I mean, plan is usually in the start of session, but I put in the last because I will tell you the last part is not always about an unimportant part, but it's so important. The first one is choose the material that will interest your student. While the classic material are incredibly important historically and have low literary value, they can be too long, boring, and simply irrelevant to hold your student interesting for long. Instead, assign shorter or more contemporary works or works that you know your student will enjoy this. Second one is assign a reasonable amount of homework. While it may seem nice to have your student read a length novel in a week, this can be unreasonable expectation. Your student want to be able to finish the reading and will skim it, read a summary instead, or not read it at all. Encourage your student to complete their homework and get the most of their education by assigning smaller amount of homework that directly relate to the classwork. Okay, we all arrive in the end of the section. It's about concluding. Let me give to all of you the conclusion of this meeting. To be a good teacher, we have many parts A, B, C, D, E, F, G until Z maybe. But we have to prepare well ourselves to any possibility. Because sometimes it's not enough to be a good teacher to your students sometimes, but be their best friend. I think if we are able to be their best friend, like, hi, we will comfortable to learn anything with our teacher, right? Will ever be student in the last day, like, I mean, we are feel comfortable with friendly teacher, right? So it's true, it's not enough to be a good teacher for your student, but be their best friend. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Bye. I think it's enough for me. I'm sorry if I had any mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.